Welcome to Grit Channel. Anunnaki, Episode 2, The Gods Descend. The term Anunnaki originates from the ancient Sumerian language and roughly translates to those who came from heaven to earth. In Sumerian myth, the Anunnaki were a pantheon of powerful gods and goddesses who descended from the heavens and shaped the world, establishing order, creating humanity, and overseeing civilization's growth. They were not considered mere spirits or deities of nature, but were believed to be physical, godlike beings who walked among humans. Unlike later mythologies where gods are distant or abstract, the Anunnaki were seen as involved, commanding, and sometimes fearsome entities directly interacting with kings and cities. To many scholars, the Anunnaki were mythological representations of natural forces or ancestors. But to others, including proponents of the ancient astronaut theory, the name Anunnaki points to something far more literal: extraterrestrial beings who visited Earth thousands of years ago and were mistaken for gods. Main deities: Anu, Enki, Enlil, and Inanna. The Anunnaki were a divine hierarchy, much like royal courts. At the top sat Anu, the supreme sky god and ruler of the heavens. He was the father of the gods, a distant but all-powerful figure said to dwell in the highest celestial realm. Enlil, his son, was the god of air, storms, and authority. Enlil was known as the Enforcer, the one who maintained cosmic order and often acted with severity. According to myth, he was responsible for humanity's first exile after being disturbed by their noise, a theme echoed in later Abrahamic traditions. Enki, also known as Ea in later Akkadian texts, was the god of wisdom, water, and creation. Unlike Enlil, Enki was seen as a protector of humanity. He helped create mankind using clay and divine essence, and secretly warned the humans of the coming great flood, much like the biblical Noah story. Then there was Inanna, the fierce and complex goddess of love, war, and fertility. She was one of the most worshipped deities in Sumer and was known for her passionate nature, strength in battle, and mysterious journeys into the underworld. Some believe Inanna's stories echo deeper spiritual and extraterrestrial symbolism. These primary deities, and others within the Anunnaki collective, formed a ruling class, each with domains and responsibilities. They govern not just nature but the social, moral, and political order, establishing laws, rituals, and kingship on Earth. Myth versus interpretation. Traditional scholars view these stories as symbolic myths, tales told to explain the world and organize society through religious belief. In this view, the Anunnaki are the Sumerians' poetic attempt to understand forces like creation, destruction, love, justice, and time. But others propose a more literal interpretation. According to researchers like Zecharia Sitchin, the Anunnaki were not symbolic at all. They were a real, advanced extraterrestrial race from the planet Nibiru who came to Earth seeking gold to restore their planet's atmosphere. They genetically engineered humans, creating a worker species, us, and ruled Earth as gods for thousands of years. Though mainstream science has not confirmed these theories, the depth of Sumerian knowledge, their understanding of astronomy, genetics, mathematics, and architecture has puzzled historians for decades. How could a Bronze Age civilization possess such insight without help? Whether the Anunnaki were divine archetypes or ancient astronauts, their presence in Sumerian myth and their influence across world cultures remains undeniable. The epic of creation, Enuma Elish. Long before the Genesis story in the Bible, there existed a powerful and poetic creation myth from Mesopotamia known as the Enuma Elish, a Babylonian text believed to be rooted in even older Sumerian traditions. The title translates to "when on high," referring to the opening line of the story. This epic describes a cosmic battle between chaos and order, gods and monsters, and ultimately, the establishment of divine kingship in the human race. It was not merely a creation myth, but a cosmic manifesto detailing how the world and heavens were structured and who was destined to rule. The Enuma Elish was recited during New Year festivals in Babylon to reaffirm the power of the gods, especially Marduk, who became central to the cosmic drama. Tiamat, Marduk, and cosmic order. At the beginning of all things, only two primal forces existed: Apsu, the god of fresh water, and Tiamat, the goddess of salt water and chaos. From their union came the first gods. However, as these gods multiplied, Apsu grew weary of their noise and plotted to destroy them. The gods, in fear, turned to Ea Enki, who used his wisdom to destroy Apsu. Tiamat, enraged by her consort's death, vowed revenge and created a monstrous army to reclaim control. Then came Marduk, the young storm god and son of Ea. Armed with unimaginable power, Marduk agreed to face Tiamat on one condition: that he be made supreme ruler of the gods if he succeeded. In a titanic battle, Marduk split Tiamat in two. One half became the sky, and the other, the earth. He used her ribs to create the vaults of heaven and appointed stars and gods to govern time, the moon, and the sun. This act of conquering chaos became the cornerstone of Mesopotamian cosmology. Order was born from violence, but it was divine order, structured, balanced, and eternal. Marduk's victory was more than myth. It represented the rise of civilization from primordial chaos, creation of humans. After organizing the cosmos, the gods realized they needed workers to maintain the earth and serve the divine realm. Instead of laboring themselves, they decided to create humans. The myth tells us that from the blood of a defeated rebel god named Kingu, mixed with clay, the first humans were formed. This symbolic act gave mankind both divine essence and earthly form, a hybrid creation destined to toil, worship, and preserve the cosmic balance established by the gods. The Sumerian version of this tale names Enki and the mother goddess Ninhursag as the creators. Using clay from the earth and mystical knowledge, they crafted humans not merely to serve, but to inherit the earth's stewardship. In some interpretations, especially those by ancient astronaut theorists, this process is seen not as metaphor, but as a literal act of genetic engineering. The gods may have altered early hominids, splicing their own DNA to create intelligent laborers, a theory that aligns eerily with the Sumerian descriptions of man's sudden advancement. Legacy of the creation epic. The Enuma Elish is not just a tale. It's a blueprint of cosmic authority. It describes the divine right of kings, the structure of heaven and earth, and the purpose of human life. While mainstream historians read it as mythology, alternative thinkers ask deeper questions. Why do so many global cultures share similar stories of chaos monsters, sky gods, and divine creation? Could these stories be memories of a real, ancient intervention? Whether seen as metaphor or misunderstood history, the epic of creation lays the foundation for everything that follows, from divine law and kingship to the eternal question of where we come from and who made us. See you in the next episode. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe this channel for next video. Bye-bye.